Welcome to Linkronicity, where your journey and destiny link. I'm Stacey, Kumagai, your linkologist, and I'm here to help you link your life. Today, we're going to be talking about two links. The link of influence and the link of inspiration. Now you're thinking, aren't they the same? No, they're not the same. They're not the same. And that's why we're talking about these two links today. Let's first talk about the link of inspiration. Where do you get your inspiration from? What inspires you? Do you have something or someone who inspires you every single day to not only be your best self, but to actually motivate you and trigger something within you to give you your creative inspiration? That's what inspiration really is. It's that torch under our tail, it's that motivation to get us, thinking and feeling and cultivating ideas and fostering them and bringing them into fruition in everything that we do, whether it's in our career or job professionally, or whether it's just in our life, in our community. There's inspiration there. And that's what inspiration is. Influence is something completely different. Now, you may have thought in the past that influence could kind of fuel your inspiration, and sometimes it can. But influence really is a different topic, and it has some negative vibes to it. And that's why I want to talk about it today, because I want you to understand how it may not be healthy. Now, influence is a big, generic whirlpool. We have influence everywhere. Whether it's from your family and friends and your social circle, whether it's your community or geographically where you live, whether it's some of the people that you work with who try to persuade you to do things that may not necessarily be in your best interest or align with your authentic self and who you are. And that's the difference between influence and inspiration. So how can we look at both of these things and look at them in a positive light to use them to our best ability to cultivate our best pathway journey and use it for our greater good? Good question, right? Do you have an answer? Maybe you do. Maybe that's where your inspiration comes from, to be able to actually define that for you and set your ideas separate in compartments of boundaries. And that's what we need to be aware of at all times. Our inspiration keeps pushing us for our highest, best, greatest good. Our influence can actually work in a disadvantage if it is related to negative roadblocks in your pathway. Now, when I talk about influence, I'm talking about people who are like to spray paint on your canvas. Now, I use this analogy a lot because I like the analogy. I think it's kind of cool. You've got this great canvas and you're protecting your masterpiece of what it is that is saying, this is my life and my journey and how I define my life purpose. When other people try to tell you how to control it, run it, do it, and if it's not resonating, it's not true to your authentic core being and your truth and your clarity of where you know you have to go, then sometimes the influence isn't healthy. And you probably know it best when you have a family gathering of any kind of proportion for celebrations, holidays, birthdays, whatever. Sometimes people like to push their opinions on you about what you should think, do, where, go, who you should talk to, even the opinions you should have, and that's not always good, because it's cluttering your canvas. It's putting something there that doesn't need to be there, and actually distracts you. It becomes a distraction and a deflection for your creative inspiration. So when you think they link together, they do, but sometimes they need to be separate so they don't combat each other and further cause confusion. Because you want to stay on the path of clarity, right? So when you encounter what I call the red flag territory, take a look at it and ask yourself, when you're getting influence versus inspiration, what feels right? Your gut will never ever steer you wrong. You will know every single time. Even if mentally you have clarity as to where you want to go. Sometimes you hear some logic, and the logic sometimes makes sense to the human brain, but it's your gut and your soul that actually know better. Your heart knows better. And that's how you can navigate and tell the difference between influence versus inspiration. And take the positivity of the inspiration and shut out the negativity of the influence, which distracts and derails you from your inspiration, so you can live your best motivated, driven life in Pathway, authentically, true to who you are, and in a healthy, more meaningful way. I'm Stacey, Kumagai, your Linkologist, here to help you link your life. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Linkronicity, blogspot.com, and go to Linkronicity.com for private coaching sessions. I hope you have a wonderful day.